Hello ladies, welcome to Wednesday's class. Made it back on time. Today we're only going to be using our dumbbells, and so I'll use the bench for the one where you put your leg up behind if you do that version. So you'll need a chair or a bench or something like that. So chair or bench for the one leg up behind. Other than that, just our dumbbells. I will lay on the bench for one of the exercises, but you can do it from the floor. So no bands, no towels, nothing like that today. All right, so I'll just give it a minute here to let some people jump onto the live. All right, it is a minute after, so let's get right into our usual stretches. So feet hip distance apart, toes pointing straight forward. Our usual ones here, reach down towards the floor, up tall, tip over, and twist. Okay, come nice and wide with the feet, toes still straight forward. Same reaches. Okay, all the way narrow. Okay, come back to normal distance, but then externally rotate your toes. And internally rotate. Perfect. All right, so first exercise, we're going to do our squat with our lateral raise. So because of that shoulder movement, you don't want to go too heavy on your weights. So probably your light ones, depending on what you're working with. All right, so for the squat, make sure you're pushing your butt back, your heels stay on the floor. Sit back like you're sitting in a chair. As you stand up, flap your wings out to the side. Squat, lateral raise. You can start the wing flap part as you're coming up. You don't have to wait till you're all the way up. You can kind of use that momentum a little bit. 11 and 12. All right, so we're going to come down to the half kneel position. We only need one of our weights. Whatever knee is on the ground, you're going to hold the dumbbell on that side. Arm goes up, back behind your head, and then straighten back up. Try to keep that elbow, upper arm kind of nice and vertical. If balance is kind of hard in this half kneel, you can go to what we call a full kneel. You still work your abs a little bit. Okay, but that half kneel position is a little bit more challenging. Okay, switch over. All right, and then we're coming up from the floor. You need both of your dumbbells. We're going to do a front raise. So straight arms, straight up to the front, up to just to shoulder height. You don't have to go above shoulders. Okay, control it so you don't want to like swing it up like this. Just nice controlled movements. Use those muscles to pull it up and slowly drop it down. And 12. All right, take a little breather. That's our first circuit, round 1 done. All right. Breathe for a second, and we'll get right in to round 2. All right, so it's chest out, shoulders back, squat, pushing those hips back, and lateral raise. Ten, 11, 12. All right, coming down to that half kneel again. Okay, whatever knee is on the ground, that's the one that gets the weight, the side that gets the weight. Okay, switch over legs. Go again. Alrighty, come on up. We get our front raises. Both of our dumbbells, light dumbbells. All right, straight arms, coming straight up to the front. Just up to shoulder height. And 12. Perfect. That's round 2. All right, quick sip of water. All right, here we go. Squat, lateral raise, last time. Drop it down, flap the wings. All right, coming down, half kneel here again. All right, whatever knee is on the ground, that's your working arm. All right, switch it over. Last time with this one. Wow. Okay, and last time with the front raises. go. 11 and 12. All right, so that's it for those. So take a little breather. Like I said, we're gonna do the one with our foot up on the bench behind us for this next group. So if you don't have a bench, drag over a chair or coffee table, something, something to put your leg up on behind. All right, so that's our very first exercise. So make sure you step out nice and far with that foot that you're going to be balancing on. And then the other one goes up behind, and then sit back into your hip on that side, okay? If you don't feel comfortable doing these, they're called Bulgarian squats, you can do a reverse lunge on the floor like that, okay? So Bulgarian squat or reverse lunge, whatever you feel comfortable with. Push your hips back. Try not to let your knee go too far forward, okay? Okay, get your 12 and switch sides. All right, next set, I'm gonna lay on my bench, but this one you can perfectly lay on the floor and be fine. I'm gonna bring my heavy and my light dumbbells with me. So all 4 dumbbells. All right, so we're gonna start with the heavy ones. Both of them. All right, so you're gonna lay on your back. You're gonna do a regular chest press like we did last week. So palms are facing towards your feet. Bring your elbows out wide, push up. Then we're going to keep those same weights. You're just going to turn your palms inward and now bring your elbows down close to the rib cage and push back up. So kind of the same movement, you're just changing your hand position. So narrow or close grip bench press. All right, keeping one of your heavy dumbbells. You're gonna hold it kind of so both hands are wrapped around the big part. Keep your arms nice and straight and go back over your head and then pull it back up, okay? So your elbows are not bending. All the movement is coming from your shoulders. Try to keep your lower back pressed into the bench or the floor, whatever you're laying on. Excellent, all right, and then we're gonna switch up to the lighter dumbbells, all right, and go into our skull crushers. A nice big arm circuit here. So skull crushers, you do bend from the elbow, coming back towards your ears, straighten up. 12. Perfect. All right. That's our circuit number 2. So you know what the exercises are there now. You can kind of judge your weights a little bit better for the second set. If you think you can do your heavy weights for all 3 rounds or all 4 exercises. 4 exercises. You can definitely do them, but if you feel like you need to lighten up for those skull crushers in particular, that will probably be the hardest one there. Keep it the light ones. All right, back to Bulgarian split squat. All right, 1 foot up behind. Make sure that foot is out far enough, and then sit back into your hip. Okay, switch up sides. Perfect. All right, heading back to the bench. So we've got our 2 different types of bench press here. First, chest press, whatever you want to call it. All right, so our traditional one first, with your palms towards your feet, elbows coming out wide. Turn those palms in, and now bring your elbows down close. Same press up. All right, getting rid of 1. We're going to do those dumbbell pullovers, they're called. So kind of cradle the weight in 1 big part, both hands. Moving from the shoulders, go back over your head, pull it up. So arms stay straight. That's how this is different than the skull crusher. And 12. Okay, going to show you a slightly different move, so you can definitely switch up to your lighter weights. Or so this one is a little bit heavier than both of my lighter weights, so I'm going to hold it both hands on the big parts. Okay, keeping my elbows up, come back towards the forehead, and straighten up. So that's another way you can kind of play with the amount of weight that you're doing. And 12. Perfect. All right, so that's 2 rounds down. Take your little water break. All right, one more time here with these split squats. All right, 1 foot up, sit back. Push it over. And 12. Whew. All right, back to chest press. Okay, so palms towards the feet first, wide. Okay, turning it in, close grip bench. That's 12. Okay, getting rid of one. We're going to do our overhead dumbbell pullover. Moving from the shoulders, like I said, keep that low back down. It's probably going to want to arch up the further back you go, but press it down. And 12. Okay, and then our skull crushers. So choose whatever weight. If you're going to use your big dumbbell or two little ones. Oh, I just got something in my eye. All right, skull crushers. Here we go. Keep those elbows straight up and then straighten your arms. Last group, we don't need any dumbbells or anything, so you can get that out of your space. We are going to come down to the floor today. A lot of times on our push day, we do our abs standing, but there's a couple things I want to do on the floor today, so if you got to roll out your mat, roll it out. All right, so first one, we're going to come down into the 90-90 position like we do in our stretches. Okay, so this is your starting position, and it's just called a 90-90 switch. So basically, you're trying to, without using your hands, I mean, if you have to, give yourself a little bit of a lift like this. If it's like impossible for you to do without, you can, but the goal is to do it without any hands, and then just switch over sides. Make sure that knee drops all the way down, and then switch back again, okay? So it's just back and forth. You do travel a little bit on this one, like you kind of move forward a little bit, so give yourself a little bit of space. But it's just switch, yeah, and switch back. All right, we're gonna do 8 on each side. Make sure those knees are dropping all the way down. Too far. This is a great hip mobility, lower ab core exercise. All right, so I think that's 8. Then we're going to come down onto our back. We're going to do bridges. We haven't done these for a little while. So normal hip distance with your feet, just traditional bridges today. So hip distance apart, toes pointing straight forward, and then just push your hips up in the air, squeeze that butt, pause for a second, and then slowly drop it down. So push up, squeeze. And 12. All right, and our last one in this group, you're still gonna be in this position, but slide your hands underneath your hips. Your legs are gonna be up in the air, and you're just dropping. I do want you to try to do both legs at the same time, but only go as low as you can keep your lower back pressed into the ground. If you feel like it's starting to arch up, that's end of your range of motion, okay? So all the way up, and then just come down as far as you can keep that low back down, and then pull back up. And 12. All right, little breather, and then we're back to our 90-90 switches. All right, so start in your 90-90 position, and then just switch sides, no hands, if you can. I get halfway and then I gotta scoot back, or else I'll be off camera. And 8. All right, down to the floor for our bridges. Here we go. Normal foot stance. Push it up, squeeze those glutes, drop it down. And 12. Okay, sliding hands underneath the hips. Legs go up and drop them down. And 12. All right, another little breather. Still got that something in my eye. Couple seconds. All right, back to our 90-90 switch. Last time. And 8. All right, back on the mat for bridge. Here we go. Push up. 12. All right, and then slide those hands under, legs up, and drop them. All right, stretch time. So come on up, have a seat, legs stretched out, and then reach for the toes. Okay, bring your feet in so the bottoms of your feet touch, knees fall open. Okay, let's get into that 90-90 again. And that stretch should go a little further today. Okay, switching sides. All right, come back into child's pose. So feet back, foot back on the feet and the heels, slide out. Okay, come up to all fours, arch your back up, head drops down, and vice versa. Okay, half kneel. Whatever knee is on the ground, that's your up arm, up and over. Okay, other side. Excellent. Come up from the floor. Find your spot to hold on for balance. Get that quad stretch. Okay, other side. And our final stretch. Grab your hands behind your back. Pull your shoulders back. All right, perfect. Good work, ladies. What is this? It's Wednesday, so I'll see you Monday, 12 o'clock. Bye-bye.